Okay. I'd like to welcome our other participants, Noor and Abin, Haider, Mariam. So, would you be able to share what you do currently? Are you studying? Are you working? And what profession are you in? Can you share in the chat? Thanks, Mariam. Oh, you're studying. Okay. I'm sure you'll be able to use some of the skills during your projects. Yeah. How about the others? Okay. So you can share with others. You can share what you're currently doing, and also what do you want to learn here? What are your expectations for this training? Okay, so I'm not seeing much. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share to you the presentation for today. Okay. So welcome everyone for Transformational Leadership Training. And okay. So in this training, you will discover the 3 characteristics of a true leader, the 8 ways on how to become a servant leader, how to know when you're ready to be a leader, and if you want to be a professional leader, I can show you what are the next steps if you are interested. So I will offer to you a training later. That is if you're interested, but it really is up to you. Okay. So I hope you will really enjoy this training and feel free to ask questions. So before I became a leader, I started as an engineer. So my background is in IT. I started as an engineer. I worked at Intel. So I was an engineer, software engineer, and also an analyst working, with that kind of business position. I would accept requests from the customer and then do some training to them. I would train the engineers and operators on how to use the system or how to walk through, when a certain chip is produced, how to work on the chip and then navigate it to the system until it gets finished. I also conducted training to the engineers and operators on how to use the system and do some troubleshooting and then printed out reports. Okay, so those are the things that I did. And eventually, I work on my way to being an analyst and then managing projects, as well as doing some audits. So I went to different countries to do some audits on their projects or how do they operate, their own offices. Okay. So I didn't know much about leadership before until such time that I was given responsibilities and I was able to learn more about how to navigate on managing people, on working with teams, on working with managers and supervisors. So it was learning the rope. So there were a lot of pains, okay, because I have to learn them by myself. And luckily, I was able to work with wonderful people, with great leaders. And when I say great, they're really great people and they're different nationalities. I had leaders who were Americans, who were Taiwanese, German, British, Filipinos. Okay. So those are the leaders that I worked with. Indian. Okay. I worked with Pakistan also. Like I have a colleague from Pakistan, and He is a country ICT manager, and we work together to implement the system. So I help him implement the system. Okay. I also attended different trainings like this. So I was able to gather information how to lead people. Okay. So it really helped me to become a better leader. And eventually I became a leader. I also do mentoring and also do some coaching. Later, I will show you the different people that I've worked with. So, but it wasn't a bed of roses. Like I was earning like a regular staff. I was earning like an entry level, but then I was working like 36 hours, more than 8 hours, and they were all for free. Okay, during those times when I was starting, and I pushed myself because you see, when you work tirelessly, when you work more than 8 hours, 10 hours, you will get to the point where you will get sick. And I did have some struggles during the early beginnings of my career. Like I would have struggles in working with people, working with managers, or sometimes when I work in teams. Because remember, one of the things that we shared a while ago, like the question of Hyder, was how would you say, difference between a boss and a leader? I was already given leadership responsibilities, leading people, but then I was staff. There was a time wherein I was an engineer and I was leading supervisors and managers. Like I was an engineer, but then I have bosses here. Okay, I have a boss, and then this boss works with other bosses. So I was in the IT department as an engineer. I was managing a project, so I was a leader of the project, and I worked with different bosses from different departments, and they were supervisors and managers. So just imagine I was an engineer, but I was working with managers, and they were a lot older than me. Okay, but they followed me. They followed my vision. They followed my direction because I was given the authority to lead the project, and I managed like about 10 supervisors and some managers, okay, different managers. Okay. So during those times, I also had struggled winning clients and working with supervisors. And eventually, I learned the techniques of working with them, and I was able to achieve the goals. And now I'm a certified consultant. I'm a certified project manager professional. I'm a certified auditor. I'm a CISA person. I'm also a certified coach and trainer. So last year, I was one of the speakers for the conference in software engineering in the global. It was a global conference with other countries, and I was invited as a judge for Wharton University, and I had been featured to the different publications, U.S. National Times and other publications. I mentored more than 100 professionals, conducted trainings, and engaged with different multinational companies: IBM, Nokia, Save the Children, AT&T, United Nations, World Vision. Okay, so more or less, I was able to be exposed to different cultures, to different nationalities, different levels in profession, including students, entry-level professionals, supervisors, managers, different industries, including non-profit organizations, um, banking, finance, uh, consulting, electronics companies, telecommunications, so different industries. So how I discovered the secrets of leading people. I have 15 years of leadership experience. I've created programs and online courses. I've written books, published articles and I do speaking engagements. But most of all, I love working with people and teaching them how to navigate on leading people, because I know it's hard for them to do those things. You know, they suffer with sleepless nights, worries and health problems, issues and doubts, and even fights. Like, I have mentored professionals who had been, they had a fight with each other, and they were two professionals. We're talking about two. One was senior, like about 56 years old man who's a lot older than me, and another one was a technical person, and they had some fights, and I was able to bridge the gap between the two of them. And there was also someone who had already collapsed, okay, and he was having some health problems because of his personal problem and also career problem, a project management problem, and I was able to help him with that. So these are the things that really happen in reality. Okay, so maybe like Mariam is just a student right now, is working as is currently a student. So these are the things that really happen in real life. Perhaps Haider is already aware of what's happening, like in the workplace. There are really struggles, and a lot of people would have some problems in their in their career. So I'm looking at the chat for now, like studying. I want to learn leadership qualities that applies on me. Okay, I want to enhance my ability of communication. Okay, right. This will be touched, some of it. I'm a psychology graduated student. My expectation is that I'll try and implement the essential qualities of a leader to lead my team and increase. Okay, so you're leading your team right now, Haider, and increase organizational value. Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. You will definitely learn a lot from here. Okay, all right. So I'd like to let you know why leaders fail. First is they suffer overwhelm. Sometimes as leaders, we are given lots of responsibilities for the people that we manage, for the people that we lead. Not only that, we will be given with responsibilities to do other things. And because of all this, we will be overwhelmed. Which one should we follow first? Which one should we do first? And then people will be coming to you asking for help. Your people will also be coming to you to complain, to ask assistance, to ask for help, so that they can do their job. And these are the realities. And in with regards to being a student, you will also be overwhelmed because you have different subjects and different projects, and sometimes you will also lead the team. There are different, because when you're given a set of people or a project to lead, you have to communicate lots of times, right? And when we don't know how to communicate well, because there are techniques to do that. When we don't know how to communicate well, we may not be able to provide or disseminate information such that it is accurate, complete, and updated. Now, one technique to do that in terms of communication is that establish a meeting, okay, a periodic scheduled meeting, so that it's going to be like a weekly meeting, and you appoint a certain date and a certain time so that everyone will attend and give you the undivided attention that you need, so that you can provide updates, you can seek information, You can ask for updates and you provide them in what has to be done. That's just one of it. Another one is because it's just everything has to be done for the leader. His thought is everything has to be done all at the same time. So for the person not to be overwhelmed, there has to be a prioritization. He has to appoint which one is the most important thing to be done within the week, within the day. Okay. Now, another reason why leaders fail is they are not prepared. Just imagine if you ask a person to drive a car, to drive a bus, and there are people riding on the bus, and you ask that person to drive when that person doesn't even know how to drive. It's the same when being a leader. We don't appoint someone who doesn't have the skills to lead. And there are people who are, we can say, there are certain skills that you can see a person being able to lead a team. The second to that is sometimes a person is not prepared emotionally, mentally. He doesn't know what are the things to be done. So how can you lead a team when you're not mentally prepared, when you're not emotionally prepared to lead a team? Being a leader doesn't only call for someone who is strong emotionally and physically, but also is humble enough to be a servant leader. Because being a leader is not just being bossy. Okay. Being a leader means service. That's the essence of leadership. The reason why we are leading teams is for us to lead and serve. We serve them by leading them to the direction that needs to be reached so that we can accomplish the goal. That's why we would always hear servant leadership. Okay, that's the essence. It's service. So we have to be prepared mentally, physically, emotionally. When we ask people to follow through our direction, we have to look into, are they also prepared to follow? Are we giving them the direction? Are we giving them the map that they can follow? Okay. They did not undergo the proper training. When we ask someone to lead a team for a particular project and they don't know what has to be done, how can we expect them to lead a team? So they have to be equipped with the proper knowledge, with the proper tools, with the right information. If it's about a project project in school, project in pharmacy, we have to know what are the things that we need to know. And normally, these things are given only to leaders. Why? Because they are the best person to articulate these projects to the project team members. And the reason why a leader is placed to that position, because that leader has the capacity to explain it in meaningful words, to explain it in such a way that it becomes simple, easy to follow, so that the team will be able to move and navigate safely and smoothly towards the end of the goal, to achieve the goal. Okay. They did not have good models. Another reason why leaders failed. They did not have good models. And I've seen this in different organizations. You know, when you look at the company and you look at how people behave, people think, and people feel, most likely it's coming from the top. When there, because I experienced this once. Like I felt that there's an organization where there were a lot of people who resign, and people keep on resigning, and the culture of the organization was on the they there will be blaming, pointing fingers, and a lot of people, they couldn't really voice out, or they felt that they were suppressed in terms of communicating what has to be done. And when they communicate what needs to take place, they were not taken lightly by the management. Okay, so the result was a lot of people resigned. There was a high turnover rate. There were low retention rate because a lot of people would resign, and a lot of projects couldn't get finished. So those are some of the things that happened. And this happened because the people here who are leading teams, they couldn't find any good models coming from up from the management and so on. And so they weren't really able to lead their teams properly. And it goes the same. The people on the top, they weren't able to lead properly because they weren't able to see good models and good managers, good leaders. That's why they don't know how to behave one, how to think as a good leader. They weren't able to see what will it take for a person to be a good leader. That's why they don't know how to do this thing. They don't have the confidence that they can lead, work with others, and get results. Okay. Yeah, people with subconscious mind succeed to become, yes, definitely. Like, we really need to have a good mindset and good confidence. So if we have from inside of us, we are capable of leading others. Okay, but of course we're not very not in an egoistic manner. Like, I can lead teams, I'm very good at this, I can make you follow me. You know, we still have this kind of level-headed thinking. We still are grounded, humble to serve. Okay, but the confidence we're talking about here is the level of confidence that we can navigate through the ups and downs of the daily life, of our daily tasks, whether it be at school, whether it be at family, whether it be at work. We are confident that everything will be taken care of. Whether it's success, whether it's failure, we're not going to give up. And we will be there to lead the team. And we can work with anything, we can work with anyone, and then still get results. We have poor results because of poor leadership, whether if it's in a community, organization, or in the country. There's something that fluctuates between confident to egoistic. I would say, like, we have to be wary about authentic confidence and egoistic. Before, I used to think when I was young, okay, younger, like years ago, 20 years ago, I used to think that when someone is talking loudly, that person is confident. Okay. Now, when I got exposed to several, because I'm already like, I've been working for more than 20 years. I got a chance to work with different people, different cultures, and different organizations. And I've noticed the people who are really talking loudly, like speaking very, very loud, there are people who are actually exuding confidence. They appear to be confident, but in reality, they are very much insecure. An example, there was someone who would talk loudly, and whenever someone would approach him with a question, he would talk loudly to the person just to so that the other person who's talking will be suppressed in terms of voicing out his opinion or his suggestions, so that the other person would just say, no, that's not it, that's not needed, it's not important, we do this something else, in a very loud voice. So the other person would just be quiet and not speak anymore. Okay, but I don't find it like authentic confidence. Okay, but I've seen and I've met a lot of real authentic confident people who are just level-headed, and they don't need to speak loudly. I would remember talking to someone and I would ask him about a particular topic. It's a technical one. And that person would just keep on talking in a very um, normal, in a normal voice, and it's very smooth and spontaneous. And that, I would say, is authentic confidence. And I was like one of the very senior person, and I was talking to him, but I didn't sense him any superficial, you know, if you can say it, as a confident person who's acting loudly or talking loudly. He was very, very spontaneous. He was talking in a very low tone, but he was very spontaneous. That, I would say, is authentic confidence. When you will notice if a person is coming from ego, because that person will be coming from proving himself to be right without minding the other person. Okay. Right. So I'd like to ask your thoughts about what you're seeing right now in the screen. Okay. What do you notice about this picture? There is a difference. Uh-huh.
What people see and what actually it is.
Mm, yeah, that's a short way of saying that. Very good. Anyone else? You can also type in the chat just in case what you would notice in the picture. Yeah, true, Nor. Okay, you can also type in the chat what you would interpret. How do you interpret what you see in the screen? Uh, yes, an iceberg according, yeah. Upper success, lower rate nights, rejections, depressions. Other way to look at it, yes. Thanks, Mariam. Uh-huh. Yeah. So I'd like to, before I get to the key principle, just a short question coming from Hyder. Difference between competing and collaborating. Yeah, when we compete, again, there's a healthy competition and then there's a bad competition. But if we're talking about being in a team and we're competing inside the team, honestly speaking, I would the way I would do it is like I compete with myself. I've I guess before I used to think that this person is like, he's really good. But it never occurred to my mind to compete with that person. But I would always compete with myself. Like if there's a certification, I had to go through a certification of handling a certain system, I would do it for myself. Okay. And I keep on up leveling myself, upscaling myself with my skills until it came to a point wherein I was already successful with myself. And then it hit me when other people were coming to me and asking, how did I do it? How did I do it? How did I do it? But I became successful in that area, not because I was competing with anyone. Okay. In terms of collaborating, okay, when we say competing, it's like we are competing with the standards, with the certain standards. Okay. And we would like to have higher success rate or maybe be better than this person. Okay. That's how we see competition. When we say collaborating, we're working together. We're working together as a team, and we encourage contributions from one another towards a certain goal for a success. All right. So outside seems small, but inner, yeah. So everything that you said is very much true. Now I'd like to turn this on how we transform ourselves to becoming a good leader. Okay. When we see someone, and we, as a human being, we would normally already have a judgment. This person is loud, this person is not confident, this person has so many problems, so many issues. Okay. This person is really a hard person, it's not easy to mingle with, to work with. I don't like working with this person. Those are the things that we have in our minds when we see a person. But in reality, when we talk to that person, the reason that person is that person, the one that we have judgment in our minds, because he has undergone lots of sufferings in his past. He had experienced a lot of hardships, a lot of pain, a lot of criticisms, and so this person became who he is. I'd like to give you an example. There was a man who always does not miss a single day drinking. And he will drink with his friends. He would be very, very loud in his neighborhood, and he would really pick up some fights. He was very, very famous for being that person. Now, why did he become like that? A lot of people didn't know that this man used to be a very loving child, a very cute boy, a very loving boy. But because of how he was raised, because of how he was treated by his mother didn't give him love. His mother didn't give him affection. His mother did not praise him, did not even look at his accomplishments, but always tell him, you're not good enough. Why do you do this? You're a very bad boy. He would receive lots of spankings, and a lot of harsh words. His mother even cursed him. So eventually, later on in his life, when he became a teenager, he would ask for attention, and the way to do that, and the way to prove that he's really bad. Oh, you tell me that I'm bad? Okay, I'm gonna do this. He became a problematic child. When he was in high school, he would always commit something that's not good in his school, and so his parents would come to the school and settle the matters. Came to a point where he even hit a professor, and he was kicked out of the school. and then his parents have to settle something. Okay. Now, why am I telling these things? Two reasons. Because in terms of us dealing with others, because we are leaders, right? When we become leaders, we have to treat others. And the way we look at others is we have to think of it like this picture. The person that we're seeing right now may not necessarily be, he's kind or maybe he's not, but somewhere beneath him, something's happening. Something happened why he's like this. And for this reason, we'll be able to relate to that person better. Okay. I've worked with a lot of people, and there are people who will be problematic. There was one person, a lot of project managers would not hire him, would not get him to the projects because they would say that this person is a hard person to work with, problematic. It will just, hiring him will just cause you problems. But I got him hired. I worked with him. And for 1 year, we were able to bring a very good project altogether. Why? Because I saw in him something that they didn't see. He's a very problematic person, true, but I didn't see that. I saw in him the goodness in him. And I leveraged on that. I worked with him. I got the best of him. And I encouraged him to do these things, to do this task, so that he will become a better person. Because eventually he will lead. And I encourage him to do that. Okay? You will meet people, you will lead, and they will appear to be problematic. But I encourage you to always remember this picture. And not only that, we also have to take a look on ourselves. Yeah. Like right now, we are like this, but we have to dig into ourselves why we are like that. And we have to transform ourselves so that we become better persons. Again, we have attributes, we have characteristics, we have values, we have virtues that may not be good. But we don't look at those much, okay? We look at what is the best in us and we bring it out. If there's something that's not good on us, we also try to change it, okay? So I hope in settling ourselves to become better leaders, and in also working with others, being with others, relating with others, in work, studies, family, life, okay? The way we communicate with others, it's with empathy, it's with compassion, especially when leading teams like Hyder, we lead with teams, and when we work into communication, we use our tongue, our lips in such a way that it will not hurt others, but encourage them to be their best so that they can contribute to the team, they can contribute to the family, to our work, to our studies, to our projects in a better manner. Okay? Because I want you to take a look back with your best project, whatever that is, with your best work, with your best team. Were you able to do something because you were encouraged or because you were blamed? You became motivated because you were motivated in a positive way, right? So I hope you do the same with others. Okay? So please remember this picture. Okay. So leadership is the ability of an individual or group to influence and guide followers or members of the organization, society, or team to accomplish a goal. Okay. So we are leading a team, and also with ourselves. When we're leading ourselves, when we're leading our life towards the direction wherein we want to achieve a certain dream, a certain goal. Okay, that's leadership. The leader is the one who is in charge, the person who convinces other people to follow. Okay. So we guide them towards a direction that we want to go because we have a common goal. Characteristics of a leader: goal-oriented and focused, resilient, maintains momentum, service-oriented, guidance, and influence. So when we say goal-oriented, we have to really focus on what needs to be achieved. There's a certain goal. When it comes to resilient, we have to, whatever storm comes in, whether the weather is good, sunny, rainy, stormy, we are there. And we just know how to play, okay? And having fun. We stay, we lead the team, we are still with the team, whatever happens. Service-oriented, there's guidance. We guide them. We provide them with the map, what needs to be done. How do we get there? And we influence them. We motivate them. Okay? Now, I'd like you to have some moments and see who is the best leader. There's a description. Queenie leads the meeting with direction. She's focused. She closes the meeting on time, but she's bossy, unapproachable, sarcastic, inconsiderate, and there's a lot of people who resign. Juvie is relaxed, approachable, friendly. She's loved by her colleagues, but she doesn't provide any direction or guidance to the team. She is not goal-oriented, and there are a lot of people who resign. Ivy is focused, goal-oriented, but she shouts a lot, very judgmental. She has favoritism. She's very critical. She's not able to provide timely decisions. She changes her mind almost every day, every minute. And there's a lot of people who resign. Mary is goal-oriented, focused, service-oriented. She's very much loved and she guides everyone, but she's very tired and she became sick. Although there are no one resigned, okay, under her. Molly is goal-oriented. She is focused, approachable, guides the team. She is relaxed, fulfilled, balanced, and there are no one who resigned. Who do you think is the best leader? That's good, Mariam. Yes. Yeah. You got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. True. Although Mary, no one resigned from her, she became tired and resulted to sickness. So it's like she's a people pleaser. So she doesn't have any a clear demarcation or boundary that I can only work at these hours, So being a leader, we also need to set restrictions to ourselves, like I will only work this amount of hours. If I go beyond this, then I have to rethink about how I do things. Rethink about how do I prioritize. Okay. There are times wherein we really need to extend our hours. That's fine. But if we constantly doing that every day, it's already a red flag. Okay. We need to reach out to our supervisors, to our boss, to our managers, hey, I'm having a lot of responsibilities now, so I will need some people to help me with this. Okay. And one way to do that, one technique that I can share to you is that when you are leading a team and you already have lots of things to do, you need to reach out to your team. One of your team members will be able to help you with some of your tasks. And that's your job as a leader. As a leader, you need to take a look at your team, take care of them, and also take care of yourself. You cannot take care of others if you cannot take care of yourself. So you can share some of your tasks to your team. I think leaders can't have all the time positive qualities. Sometimes they seem to show unexpected bad behavior, like due to peer pressure or strict work-life balance. True. And that's a very good compassionate feeling for yourself. That not all times you will have this perfect feeling, perfect, you're not always going to show your best self. And it's true. There will be events that will really take the best out of you, and you would just sometimes snap. This is a very real scenario, that the one that Hyder is saying. But it's also important. Remember, the reasons why we are placed into the leadership role is because there's something in you that someone chose you to be there because you are more matured. Okay? You have a better disposition than the rest of the team. Now, if the person keeps on displaying, if a leader keeps on displaying something that's not good, I'm sorry, but that person needs to step down, because you're causing more ache, more problems. Okay, so it's important to take notice of that. Okay, uh, the reason why leaders are there, because you should be more mature. Okay, the reasons why a president is there, because he's more competent than the rest. If not, just imagine what will happen to the team, to the community, to the organization the person is serving. Okay, I hope that explains it. Okay. So what qualities do they have that you do not want? You can write them down. And what qualities do they have that you want to have? So I will write the questions here. So that you will be more aware of you want to avoid and what you want to have. So you take time. You can have like a minute. Let's give a minute for this one. Yeah, Mariam, that's very good. Effective leaders possess qualities such as vision, integrity, communication skills, decision-making abilities, adaptability, empowerment, focus on coaching and development. Yes, all of these are true. They should avoid micromanagement. Approachable, relaxed, and fulfilled. True. Yeah. So, not judgmental. Mhm. That's very important. Okay. All right. So, who would you like to be? Because here, what we do is emotionally detach ourselves. Yeah. Keen observer should be. Yeah. True. Not goal-oriented and not listen to team members. True. Because one way to really collaborate, to have a collaborating team, to have a collaborate, to have collaboration in the team, cooperation, trust, is to listen. More than we talk, we listen. And that's how we also, you know, create a space so that people can approach us. And that's the only way. Um, I would remember there was a time wherein we were having a project that is critical. If we didn't have that atmosphere of open communication, there was this person who really saw something that's coming, like a very big possible problem. And if we didn't have that approachable scenario, approachable atmosphere, that person would not have come to me and discuss the possible problem. And because of that, we were able to do something and we were not able to encounter that problem. That's how important it is to be approachable, to have an open communication atmosphere, to have a listening ear, to encourage participation and collaboration. Okay, that's very important. Yeah, definitely. I would like to be Molly, Iman, because what you can, okay, this is a very general description, but what happens beneath this is that Molly is very skilled. Molly has been trained. She was able to undergo trainings. These are real people, by the way. Okay, this is not a fiction. Um, she was able to uh, undergo several trainings, and she has been mentored by several coaches. Okay, she has been to different kinds of difficulties already. She has good decision-making skills. She exudes a lot of good interpersonal skills, professional skills, communication skills. She also guides the team, looks after their development. Okay, so these are some of the things that she has. Okay, all right. Let's go to the next one. Goal-oriented. A leader keeps an eye on the target. Okay, one of the things that you always mention here that you like is goal-oriented, some of you. And it's very important because as a leader, you have to focus on what has to be achieved. You don't lose sight. You will always have things to, that will fly or roam around. But at the back of your mind, you always think, are you going to that target? And I've managed several projects, but I always keep an eye on the target. What are the objectives? What are the goals? And I always visit those on a weekly basis. Am I still heading to that direction? I always think of that way. Make sure that the goals are clear and known to everyone. You are leading the team. So it's very important that all the goals are being spoken to the rest of the team. And it's very clear to them. The goal is the target, which is the basis for planning. Strategic planning is carried out with the team. So we work with the team because you are the leader, right? But in the team, there are other skill sets because as a person, as a human being, we don't know everything. So we need the skill sets, we need the wisdom, the knowledge, the hands, the brains of other people. So we work with the team. And that's the only way we can arrive at a good strategy because we have to get inputs from each one of them. The plan is presented to the people who will be impacted, and this plan should be approved. The plan is the map of the team to go to that direction to achieve the goal. And the plan is not carved on the stone. Plans can change because there will be circumstances that will change, that will happen, that we need to take into consideration, and we need to update the plan. How's that? For example, we are already on the project, and then perhaps when we're going to source a certain material, it's no longer available in the market. So we have to look for an alternative material so that we can use that. And for that reason, we need to update the plan. Or maybe during the course of the project, one of the team suddenly go away for any reason at all. Maybe the person got sick, or maybe the person needs to go. So we have to update the plan, right? So, but before changing the plan, we need to have an impact analysis. We need to discuss what we need to do. Okay. Any change in the plan needs approval, and the leader is focused on what it takes to accomplish the goal. There are times we really need to think about what has to be done, even if it's we need to research, we need to ask help from other people to make things happen. That's what a leader does. You make things happen. So, using the iceberg principle, what do you think lies inside of you that calls for a need to be enhanced or be awakened, or something that you need to change? You can share it with the group, or you can take a look at yourself and just meditate on it. So what do you think is that attribute that you need to let go? You can share, you may not want to share, that's fine. But I hope that you have this reflection. Okay. I'll just give you a minute, okay? Think it over so that you get the benefit out of this training. If you feel that it's very important for you to address it, you can share it in the chat. You can send it to me privately, and I can say something about that if you want an advice or suggestion. And I won't mention your name. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Maria. Feel free to share, or you can also just you have it for yourself. It lies inside me is strong passion for leadership, and what I should let go is ego and comparison. Okay, thank you for sharing. Giving up and fear to take steps towards achievement. Thank you for sharing. I think emotions are very important to proceeding over goals with team, so we have to be less appear our aggressive behavior. Okay, all right. So feel free to share further if you need to. So what qualities are good to keep? For example, if you're a certain quality like what you really want within yourself that you really like. So for you to really like have it further so that you'll become a better leader, what quality would that be? Friendly with others. Okay, it's good. Yeah. And Mariam, I know you have a good heart. So 20 years from now, 30 years from now, keep that keep that same spirit with you. Okay, because you're going to use that, and it's going to be one of your strongest um, characteristics or trait you can have that will really help you navigate. You will meet people along the way who can help you. Okay, you leverage with being friendliness. Okay. Support from team members. Mhm. Activeness, like they are giving backup mode. Yes, this is very true. Um, when you have a strong support from your team members, it's like you have their back with you, whatever happens when you get sick or when you reach to a point in time where you really need help. One of the things that I experience is that there will be projects in which it will be very difficult to hold on to because there are a lot of problems. But because I was there for them, I explained to them the problem. My team did not leave, but they actually volunteered for overtime and they really helped. So we were able to accomplish the goals in flying colors. Okay, thank you. Sometimes I find it hard. I find it hard easy to separate my day-to-day issues affecting my goal. I find it hard affecting my goal. Okay, separating issues. All right. So a leader is goal-oriented. He's focused on whatever has to be done to achieve the goal. Planning is instrumental in being goal-oriented. So planning is very important whenever we are a leader because we need to achieve a certain task, a certain goal. Change management, whenever there will be changes, we need to accommodate these changes. Change management is critical to ensure any change in the plan is carefully analyzed for major impact so that the change is controlled. Self-acceptance and awareness of our strengths and weaknesses allow us to have clarity and confidence. One of you have mentioned about self-esteem and self-confidence. We are not perfect people, okay? We have weaknesses, flaws. We have to be comfortable with our own skin, with who we are, okay, where we came from. And we need to accept ourselves and be aware of what our strengths are. And we leverage on our strengths. We use our strengths as our superpower. And these are the core foundation of being a leader, to be confident in our own skin, no matter who we face, what situation we face, we stand the test and lead our team. And this helps us to be goal-oriented and focused. Right now, I came to a point in my life wherein I can talk to anyone. I can face anyone, everyone, anytime. Not unless, of course, I'm sick. But, and it's not because I'm perfect. It's not because, I'm so beautiful. I'm so gorgeous. I'm so intelligent. It's not because of that. It's because I came to a point in time where in my life, and I just want to give, serve, and impart knowledge. And when you're coming from that point, that's when you learn to be confident, because you have something to share. Okay. All right. I'd like to visit some of the things that you mentioned here. Is it all right if I give my comments on how you will address your, the things that you find you would like to change? Would you like me to give you suggestions? Can you type in the chat? Person have goals, but he has fear to fulfill. Mean he feels difficulty to act on goal because he has lack of self-confidence. So how he raise his confidence to do consistent by his goals? Is this a question, Ayman? Ayman? Or okay, all right, okay. So the question, if I understand it well, the question is that the person has goals, but he has fear to fulfill. He has difficulty to act because of lack of confidence, self-confidence. So how can he raise his confidence to be consistent with his goals? Okay. I'd like to address the self-confidence matter, and it's actually deeper than we actually are thinking. There are different reasons why a person is not confident. When a particular person is capable of talking simultaneously everything that the person knows, because the person is in an environment when where he feels accepted, where he feels it's easy for him to convey his message, and when he feels he has the knowledge to impart. So meaning, if a person feels secured in his surroundings, okay, when the person feels safe to talk, meaning the person who's listening is not going to judge him, okay, or if he feels that he's not going to be judged. And third, he knows what he's saying. He knows what to say and the reason why he's saying it. I'd like to address those three. Okay. You should be in an environment that you feel you're capable of giving an information or contributing something. You feel welcome and accepted. Okay. Because that's the time we're in. You open yourself to a space wherein you will be heard and accepted. So if a person doesn't feel that, that person will not be confident to share the information. That person will withhold the information. Okay. Secondly, if the person is not safe for himself and always thinking of judgment of others, because that person hasn't settled to himself that he is good enough, she is not good enough, that she does not matter, that she is not important. Okay. I'd like you to take a moment for 1 minute to recall the earliest point in time in your life, the youngest version of you, wherein you felt you were rejected or you felt you're not good enough or you did not matter or you're not important. Was there anyone who treated you that way or you felt that way or someone told you? I want you to go back to that time. The youngest version of you. Now, I'd like you to think, why did you say that it's true? Why did you say that it's true? It's true during the time that you're not good enough, that you're not important, that you don't matter. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Sometimes a person will tell us, you're not good enough, you're stupid. You should not talk that way. But What could be the real reason behind that? Perhaps that teacher, that person, that boss probably had a hard time during that morning. Before that person went to school, went to work, that person had a fight with someone, did not have a good morning, a good day, and so that person brought that kind of attitude at work, at school, and so that person was very became a not so uh, nice, not so approachable person, not in his best self. And that was the reason why that person said those words. So it's not about you, and it's not because of you that that person said those words. It was because that person had a bad morning or a bad day. And maybe that person did not have a good role model to begin with. So now I'd like you to go back in time during your youngest self and tell yourself, hey, it's not true. You're good. You're good enough. What you did was just right. It's just that this person had a difficult day. What he said, what she said wasn't true about you. I am good enough. I'm important and I matter. And I can communicate well. I can do this thing. I can complete this task. And I forgive that person because that person didn't know what he or she has done. Did that help? Okay, that's good to know. I'm reading the chat right now. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at it. What lies inside me? Okay. Strong passion for leadership, and what I should let go is ego and comparison. Yeah. Thank you for that humility. And a lot of people that I work with and the people who are on top, I mentioned earlier that I work with different organizations and I was able to work with like the top people. And one thing that I observe, apart from them being competent, they know what to do. They're very humble. Like it's like when I talk to them, it's like I'm just talking to a colleague. So humility is very important. And there are two things that I can impart with you that have really made a difference in my life in terms of professional life. Okay. Those two things are gratitude and love. Okay. When we are grateful for the people that we work with, for the opportunities that are given to us, and when we are humble enough to realize that we're not better than anyone else, we become more compassionate to others because we see others and their challenges, because once we face the same kind of challenges also. So I became more compassionate to others. I'm not better than anyone. I can work with anyone. Entry level professionals, that's fine. I hope that that it resonates with you. Giving up and fear to take steps towards achievement. Sometimes our fear is about fear to be known, fear to be successful. But remember that if we are successful, we can help a lot of people. And it's a matter of decision. It's either we decide now that we're going to do the steps or not. And we can take one step at a time, or we can also take a big step. It depends on you, what works for you. If taking small steps is difficult, take a big step. Maybe that's the one for you. I think emotions are very important to proceeding over goals with teams, so we have to be less appear our aggressive behavior. Okay. You have to be careful about emotions because there are things that we just have to see them as they are. Okay? And we try to understand also why did the person did this. And the best way to do that is to approach a person privately and ask the person, what's up? Can you give me a story about what happened? And that I did. I mentioned to you earlier that there were two professionals who argued together. So I approached them in such a way that I asked the person what happened. So instead of talking to the person, this is what someone told me. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why did you do this? You should not have done that. Instead of me going to that kind of conversation, I asked the person first, I heard this story. Can you tell me what happened? And that person was able to tell the story in his point of view. Okay. That was how I was able to get his story. But it doesn't mean that that's the truth. Okay. So I got two stories, both of them. I had them face to face and tell them this is what I've learned. Is this what happened? And from there, I was able to get the facts. Okay. So instead of me being emotional of what happened, I was able to get the facts. So you have to be very careful about emotions. In regards to our behavior, remember the picture of the iceberg. Okay. We are behaving because something happened. And we have to take a look at ourselves. What past experience happened? Why we become this person? Why we have this kind of behavior? If we know that it's not serving anyone for the good, you have to check ourselves and do something about it. Okay. If we know that our aggressive behavior is not good, we have to think of ourselves. Maybe we lack empathy. Maybe we lack understanding. because maybe we were not trained to be like that. We were exposed to an environment with such behavior. Okay? And so we learn these things. But the good thing is, our behavior can be unlearned. May take time, but it can be unlearned. Anything can change. So the mere fact that we know that we have an aggressive behavior, it's already a call for us to change, because you are already gifted with consciousness and awareness that you are aware that you're like that. I'm not saying that you're aggressive, you have aggressive behavior, but I'm trying to say is that we are already aware that we have aggressive behavior, and we have to thank ourselves. Hey, Mel, good. You're already aware that you have aggressive behavior. Now, it's up to you. Do you want to change? Yes, I want to change. What can I do to change? So what do? We practice compassion. We are more understanding of others. We relate more with others. We spend more time with others, because chances are people with aggressive behavior normally have the world to themselves. They don't relate with people. They're not friendly. So to adjust that behavior, we have to go to a certain environment wherein there's friendship, there's community, collaboration. Okay. Support from team members, activeness, like they're giving up backup mode. Sometimes I find it hard to separate my day-to-day issues affecting my goal. Okay. So this is a matter of being aware. It's like when you're at home, you're wearing your home clothes. Now, when you're at work, you are still yourself, but you're wearing a different clothes. So if you have problems at home, leave it at home. Just an example. If I'm not saying it's true to you, but if you are having some problems in day-to-day issues, your day-to-day issues is your day-to-day issues, and your goal should be your goal. Focus on your goal, keep an eye on your target while you're doing something on your issues. Okay. Why is it necessary? That's the first and foremost way to do that, because you still have to tackle your issues. One way or the other, it will affect your goal. So you have to tackle your issues. But for now, stick to the goal while doing something with your issues. If you're having lots of issues, try to analyze who can you tap for support, who can you ask for help. Because I think you need some help. If you would need some help, okay, that will help you accelerate your success towards your goal. Maybe you need help with household chores, or I don't know what issues you might have. Okay, or a coach or a mentor, okay, or a friend. A person have goals, but he has fear. Okay, he needs. Okay, we've already tackled the confidence. So you can still approach on your goals, okay, and believe that you can make it. Might be that person doesn't have a plan to implement. I want to develop consistency, quality for goal orientation. Mhm. When we say consistent, it's like a daily step. Be, be compassionate to yourself. It doesn't have to be a big step. What's important is there's a certain task that you do towards your goal every day. Small steps, small task. That's fine. Okay? It's fine. How to adapt myself in an environment where competition is low and people are unaware of the potentials they could have if they tried. How to adapt myself in an environment where competition is low. Okay. Is it because you're having a hard time to adapt yourself because you are quite competitive and you want to be in an environment wherein a lot of things are happening? Is that is that yeah? I'm not sure if that's how it is. Okay. Due to not working properly or not using our abilities in the right way, might be conflict intense or conflict in a way of working. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. True. The teacher is going through a lot. So I hope that helped you. Okay. So today we covered, yeah, competency and literacy is low. Okay. So Hyder, if I got you correctly, let me just share this with you. Sometimes when we go to an environment wherein we feel like we don't belong, maybe something inside us is saying that we need to find somewhere else. It's like, sometimes we are in an environment we're not valued enough because our value is actually like a gold. We are gold, but we go to this environment wherein we are not treated as gold. Okay. It's either we adjust to that environment and be belonged there and be cherished there, or we find an environment wherein we will be treated as gold because we are gold. That's one way to think about it. Another way to think about it is maybe we are thinking if this is glass and it's half full, half empty, maybe we're thinking that it's half empty instead of half full. Why did I say that? Maybe the environment is already okay, it's good, but probably we're thinking of what it's lacking. Now, the danger part of this, the good thing about this is we look at improving things. The dangerous part of this is that we become overly critical and judgmental, that nothing is ever good, nothing is ever adequate. Okay? But the good side of this is we keep on improving. We try to find things to improve and would like to improve ourselves. Okay. So I'm not certain really what would be the case of what you have right now, but those are just some of the thoughts that I have. And it's up to you which one resonates. I got you. Yes, that's true. There are also environments wherein they are not supportive of the vision of the talents of the greatness of a person. And I've seen this. And there are two reasons. Why? Because first, the organization is just so complacent and they're just so satisfied with what they have. And they keep on thriving again and again and again. But you know what happened to that organization? After a couple of years, it closed because they were outdone by the competitor. They went out of business. Okay. Now, there was another organization, the second one. They keep on thriving and developing, and up to now, they're still on business. And these are two real stories. So, yes, I resonate with you. I understand your point. It can be really I've seen people who are really good and they have talents, but they stayed for that organization for a number of years and they did not develop themselves. It's very sad because they have the intelligence, they have the credentials, but then they were not developed into better, better employees. So yeah, true. Okay. So today we cover the key principle of iceberg and the characteristics of true leader and some personal check in ourselves. I hope that helped you. Okay. So can you're free to unmute yourselves. You can free to talk what do you find valuable during this session. What do you really like about what we just discussed, or what do you really appreciate in our workshop today? Anything at all? Be goal oriented, okay, and focus and to be empathetic towards team. Thank you for sharing. Uh-huh. Like to share with you a certain training. I found many terms valuable in the session, which are essential leadership qualities, how leaders fail, motivate long-term for leadership, and a lot more. Thank you for sharing. Okay. I'd like to share a training with you. Would you like to hear about it? So it's a leadership training. I call this like a highly effective leader training program. So I found many qualities that I need to develop in me, how to avoid things that make a leader to fail. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So the program is called Highly Effective Leader Training Program. It's a live virtual event from July 25 to 29. If you would like to take a look at it, the link is https, yeah, you can go here, providence.com/leadership training. That's the link you can go. That's a link to enroll. And I'd like to share to you. I created this because I know how frustrating it is deal with to manage teams, to work with different kinds of people. And I'm on a mission to help professionals elevate their career and to stand out as true and effective leaders. The only way to do that is to share my knowledge and experience from working with real people and professional mentors. Know what it takes to be an effective, highly effective leader. First is to create a strategic plan that's, you'll have the confidence on that to reach your goal. Thank you, Hyder. Thank you too. So when you create a strategic plan, many leaders struggle to have a clear vision and have focus. I also struggled with this one. After working with different companies and several projects, I was able to learn the tools and techniques to do it the right way. So I will help you learn how to create strategic plan confidently. And I was fortunate to work with different projects, both local and international projects, with different countries and industries. And I'll teach you the exact process that I do to plan strategically. Would like to share to you that one of the mentors that I had and worked with. He is Francisco Avila from Ecuador. Okay, so this is what he told me. Mel led the implementation of a global project and had staff report to her from across Asia countries. Okay. Next is you will become a confident and in-demand leader. You can imagine walking with ease and confidence. It's authentic confidence when you can face any challenges, anyone, any person. You can have that confidence in you. It's genuine. Okay? It's not someone who will mask a certain kind of face just to show off. It is real confidence. And many leaders mask and fake their confidence. I've met them. I would like to help you with this one. How to overcome fear, worries, have authentic confidence without shouting or raising your voice. You need to be able to provide results, and you can have that. This will allow you to stay on the game, face the challenges head on, and lead the team. You will walk away with the confidence that will motivate your team to follow you, do their responsibilities willingly, without being bossy, without shouting at them. You can induce, you can motivate them to cooperate with you willingly because they can see that you can give results. I'd like to share with you one of the people that I worked with. Okay, Archie and I worked together on his challenges at work on project management and leadership. He managed some of the accounts in Asia. And after discussion and training, he was able to work on projects and became confident. So this is what he told me, the feedback that I got from him as testimonial. So he also took the training on project management with me. The next is to anticipate problems. If this is about risk management. Many leaders are surprised when problems come. They don't know what to do. You have to plan for the possible problems effectively. You have to have that future vision of what might happen. But before that happens, you already have a solution. I will teach you that. This will allow you to be proactive and face the future with confidence. Again, this is authentic confidence. Okay? You will have better sleep, restful days, knowing that you can handle any problem that may come. This is a real technical person, Dennis. Dennis was a technical lead who had problems in managing team and his work. And after our discussion, he was able to work on problems and become proactive and became accountable with so much ease. And he was able to look things differently. So we worked together and had trainings. I was able to help him have that confidence. And he was able to look at possible problems. He was able to get the skills. Fourth is build a high performance team. Because as a leader, you will be given people to lead. Sometimes you can choose, but sometimes you cannot choose. They are just there and you have to lead them. It's like having a children. You cannot choose your children, but you have to guide them. You can mold them. Remember the influence of a leader that you can guide them. I'm going to teach you how to do that. So you need to be able to lead a group of people with different personalities, cultures, and background, no matter what their culture is. Remember, I mentioned to you earlier that there was this technical person who a lot of project managers would not want to hire him. But I was able to work with him successfully, and he became a changed person. I'll teach you how to do that. This will allow you to help them follow your lead, do their part, and provide excellent work, and support you, whoever that person is. I will show you how to have a team that is loyal and provide excellent work, even if you are not around. You don't have to micromanage. You can induce trust and collaboration. I'll help you do that. If conflict resolution, you need to be on top when conflicts arise. I mentioned to you earlier, I had experienced different conflicts. There are people under me who had conflicts, and they were also resolved. I will teach you how to be calm and collected. Okay? You need to communicate in a way that make them listen to you without any force or threat. You will learn how to resolve conflicts, even if your team is older than you, even if you're busy and the operations or project is critical. I will teach you that. For example, Tessa has a problem. This is another person. Tessa has a problem with her colleague. It causes her anxiety and sleepless nights. And then she approached me. We had discussion and we were able to talk. She was able to tell me with ease and assert. She was able to talk with ease and assert herself to her colleague. After our discussion, she became happy and motivated at work. They were able to build harmonious professional working relationship. And I can teach you how to do this. I can help you with your struggle if you have struggles with this, or you want to improve yourself, and how to relate with others, not just at work, but also in personal life. Also, you will have access to online course on project management. I have designed and formulated this course with exercises so you will learn how to do planning and project management. So it's an online course that you will attend whenever you want. You can come back to it again and again so that you can practice and learn the skills, learn the tools. This is the exact knowledge and training that I provide to professionals, junior and senior project managers, and use the same templates that I actually use with my projects for your projects. You can use them anytime that you want. What kind of projects that is, whatever industry, you can use those templates because it's universal. You can use it anywhere, even if it's local project, even if it's international project. Those templates, those are the very documents and tools that I use from $5 project to $5 million project. So it can work. This is one of the senior projects that I worked with, KL. So I have coached and trained him as senior project manager in project management. And he was able to navigate through project management through the training. So it is one of the things that he said. Okay. So you will know how to manage projects the right way. You can follow the steps to create a strategic plan. You can use a certain tool for your strategy. Learn how to conduct risk management. It's a tool which is RAID. You're going to learn that. You can have a balance between theory and practice because I will show you theory and you can use the tools and templates for the exercises so you can have a hands-on experience and application. This training captures knowledge from managing local, regional, and global projects from $100 to 2 million projects. Projects are from different industries: blue chip, consulting, semiconductor, electronics, nonprofit, insurance, retail, and also project evaluation and audit projects. So you're going to learn a lot from this. You will also learn all of this. And this course is worth $149, but I'm including it as a bonus for you if you sign on this course, on this training program. And it includes a lot of this for the training. You will learn all of this. So these are all the tools, knowledge, and concepts. The project life cycle, project management groups. This is using PMBOK, Project Management Book of Knowledge under Project Management Institute. I am a certified project management professional under PMI. Okay, this is the one that I'm teaching you. I will teach you. It includes organizational structure, work breakdown structure, risk management, issue management, quality management, resource management, costing, communications and management, why projects fail and what to do to succeed, grade log, Gantt chart, formulating plans, project life cycle, kick-off planning, managing teams, responsibilities of project manager. It's also a self-assessment you can do, okay, for your career planning, and hands-on exercises and many. Okay, this is one of the feedback that I got. Okay, I was fortunate to have worked with different cultures, and JNB is just one of them. I will share to you the exact knowledge I used to finish projects successfully. Okay. So the highly effective leader training program, this is the link, and I hope you can join. It's a live virtual event from July 25 to 29. Yes, it is there's a fee to join, so you can go to that link. I think it's about 199 USD. And you may share this with people on your organization. So it will really help you become a better leader. It goes beyond that. We're not just talking about leadership here. We're talking about leading ourselves, having self-confidence, having self-esteem, having direction, being focused and goal-oriented. It's basically changing our mindset, and the way we deal with others, managing projects, learning all the skills. Okay. Yeah, you can reach me here. Yeah. I also do personal coaching. Okay. I have a coaching program as well. So feel free to let me know. And if you have other questions, um, you can share with me your email address and I can give you a free ebook. Because I have a book. I can share them with you on next week. I can send the ebook to you. Huh? What can you share? What do you want to share, Hyder? Yes, you can share your email address. So anyone who's here, you can share your email address to me. Okay. All right, I'll note it down. Share. Yeah. I'll write your email address. Yes. Mhm. Okay. All right. Do you have any question?